You saying your ABCs?
A.
You know your ABCs?
A, B, C, D, I, Q, B, Q, B, W, Y, D.
Very good. High five. High five. Good job. I'm proud of you. All right, hold on. Welcome to the MasterMind Library. We got Trigger here with us today, giving the ABCs. I'm Ferdinand, the bringer of balance, leader of many disciplines, and your host of the MasterMind Library. And as you know, we're reading from The Ultimate Sales Machine. Trey and I, we doing some reading. And we are in a very special chapter today. Today, we are in the time management secrets of billionaires. This is a very, very powerful chapter 1 of the book. Everybody who's with us, who's listening and reading along, we're going to go ahead and go to chapter 1 in our virtual book. Let's make it a little larger. And let's make it scrollable too. Enable scrolling. You funny, Trey. Hold on, Trey. Hold on. We're gonna open the book in just a second. Okay. Give it just a second. All right. The time management secrets of billionaires. We had to get everybody ready. Let's make that a little bit larger. All right. So, you all right, Trey? You good? Okay. All right. So, hey, everybody out there who's entrepreneurs, this right here is this is a foundational chapter. This is foundational information right here. I highly recommend every entrepreneur out there reads this chapter of this book. If you didn't read any other chapter of this book, this will be the chapter that you want to read, because if you turn your time management skills, you take them to another level, it almost doesn't even matter what you do on an everyday basis. Like, you're going to win, right? So let's go ahead and dive on into this. Time management secrets of billionaires. How to maximize your productivity and help your people do the same. I developed this time management system while I was running 9 divisions for billionaire Charlie Munger. I always tried to hire bright, aggressive, creative people. So naturally, these people were constantly coming to me with new ideas, issues, and concerns. I later learned that no one should have more than 6 direct reports. But at the time, I had something like 22. So I was constantly reacting to my staff's needs for attention. Basically, I was in a reactive mode all the time. I worked 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hours per day at the office, dealing with interruptions, and then I'd go home and do all the creative work to keep everything going. I realized that I had to learn how to effectively manage my time, so I took a time management course. In the first 20 minutes, the trainer handed out a worksheet instructing us to track our time over the next 3 months. At the end of the 3 months, we were supposed to identify where we were wasting our time. As a person running 9 divisions, I rolled my eyes and thought to myself, if I had the time to track my time for 3 months, I would not need a time management course. I got up and left the seminar. Over the years, I have broken time management down to 6 simple steps that take 5 minutes to complete. Why? Because good time management shouldn't take a lot of time. That's also why this is the shortest chapter in the book. This chapter will present 6 simple steps for time management. It will be very logical, and you will understand it completely. You will agree with all of the principles, and you will know that they will absolutely improve your productivity. But do you have the pig-headed discipline to spend the 5 minutes every day to take control of your time, and then the even more pig-headed discipline to stick with the plan throughout the day? If you have a staff, do you have the pig-headed discipline to police these 6 simple steps throughout your entire staff? If you do, the payoff will be huge. Let's get into it. Do you function mostly in a reactive or a proactive mode? In my experience, Most business people don't take the time to plan and take action because all of their time is consumed by reacting to the business they've already built. To build your business into the ultimate sales machine, you need to be in a primarily proactive mode. Time management is crucial. Imagine what it would be like if you were suddenly thrust into managing or running a $50 billion company. Do CEOs of giant corporations have more hours in the day than you do? Of course not. But they do need to be masters of this crucial competency, time management. They need to be absolute experts in managing their own time and have the systems in place to make sure that everyone in their organization is skilled in time management as well. Once you understand the time management secrets of running a multi-billion-dollar company, you'll have no trouble managing your sales activities if you're in sales or getting your company or department to function at its maximum productivity. My time management epiphany. You've heard of the 1 minute manager. Well, I was the got a minute manager. All day long, every day, various folks on my team will come to me and ask me if I had a minute to talk. And a got a minute meeting would break out right then and there. In fact, the entire company was run by got a minutes. Anyone could go to anyone else anytime and a got a minute meeting would break out. My employees were in a reactive mode all day long. Although I had successfully grown each of my divisions by at least 100% within 12 to 15 months of taking them over, I was out of control and reacting 100% of the time. Even on vacation in Hawaii, I was receiving 15 faxes per day. This was before email became the newest time burner. In contrast, when I had a meeting with Charlie Munger, I had to call his secretary and make an appointment. I had to have a strict agenda. I had to be on time and organized. Every meeting was highly productive and to the point. Then suddenly it clicked that I needed to take control of my time and my staff. So after a few years of working 12 hours a day, every single day, including weekends, I realized that in order to more successfully run and manage the divisions under my control, I had to get more organized and less reactive. I put out a memo effectively ending my got a minute management style. Here's what it said. To staff from Chet. Do not come to my door and ask if I have a minute. The answer will be no. Unless urgent, hold all thoughts, ideas, issues, or non urgent concerns until the weekly division meeting. Below is a list of when these meetings will be held. Otherwise, I will post 2 times per day when I will take got a minute meetings. If your needs can't wait for the weekly meeting, write your name in the got a minute times I'll allocate it, and I will take quick 10-minute meetings. We broke the company down into 9 impact areas and held weekly 1 hour meetings in each area. An impact area is any part of your company that has a direct impact on the bottom line. Your impact areas may include sales, customer service, product development, and marketing. For example, in order to improve and perfect each of these areas, you need to give them a dedicated 1 hour per week when everyone involved can focus exclusively on improving that area. Once I established weekly impact area meetings, my team learned to hold their ideas until the appropriate meeting instead of coming to my office to share their ideas as they got them. I even put out a pad and had the words with Chet on the top of the pad. My staff was then to write down on the pad the things they normally interrupt me with and keep that pad in their desk drawer until the weekly meeting. The memo went out on Thursday, and I recall distinctly that on Friday, no one came to my door. It was the first time in years that had happened, and I did not know what to do with all this uninterrupted time. I could actually concentrate at my office, and I didn't need to bring home the normal mounds of work to be done at night and on the weekends. I had a whole new learning curve headed my way. No one came to my door on Friday, but by Monday, the madness started all over. I had to have the pig-headed determination and discipline to train my staff to follow these rules. When someone comes to your door with a got a minute meeting, you stop them cold and say, Is this something that can wait until the weekly meeting? They will still try to get you to focus on it right then and there. And if you lack pig-headed discipline, you'll cave and jump right into it. So I had to discipline myself and the staff to hold almost everything until the weekly meetings. And the best part, I went from reacting to the business 70 to 80 hours per week to proactively running and more effectively managing and growing the business in only 9 hours per week because I broke down my responsibilities into 9 major impact areas. The meetings were way more productive than the Got a Minute meetings because these meetings were more formal, structured, and results oriented. The key staff for each impact area attended their meeting together, so major progress could be made, and everyone was there who then needed to take the next step or learn our latest breakthrough. I kept 9 pads, one for each impact area. And on each pad, I would keep notes of what we had worked on and who had promised to do what before the next weekly meeting. Yes, to dos, tasks, and deadlines must be assigned after every meeting. But the key is not to ask for too much to be completed. Make the gains small but constant. If you are having the meeting every week and you are making small incremental gains each and every week, think of the profound transformation you're going to have in 52 weeks. A year from now, your company, division, or department can be massively improved. More on this later. If you run a large company, you'll have more impact areas. I helped one executive break down his company into the main impact areas and initiatives he was working on. And he ended up with 17, which means 17 1 hour meetings per week. This might sound crazy to a small company owner or executive, but it is the way to take your company to the next level if you got a lot going on. This particular executive was working 70 hours per week and getting less done than when I made him break down the company into 17 hours of meetings. Each meeting moved each impact area forward. Decisions were made weekly. Everything of importance got addressed every week. Everyone was happier. The employees of each area felt more important. Prior to this program, some of them had to chase the boss for weeks to get questions answered or issues addressed. So break it down. Exercise. Figure out what impact areas are in your business. Typically, if you are running a department, your department is the impact area. But if you're a CEO or general manager of a medium or large company, you may have many impact areas. To make identifying them easier, here is a list of 15 impact areas from another CEO I worked with. 1. Outside sales. 2. Inside telemarketing team. 3. Marketing activities. 4. Customer service. 5. CRM, customer relationship management. 6. Purchasing suppliers. 7. Shipping and receiving. 8. Inventory control. 9. Accounts receivable. 10. Personnel. 11. Technology. 12. Partner relations, vendors. 13. Partner relations, affiliates. 14. Export sales. 15. California initiative. This last initiative was to attack a new market. What initiatives do you or should you have? Now list your areas of impact. The 6 steps to great time management. There are 6 fundamental steps to great time management. Put these 6 steps into daily practice, and you won't believe how much you and your staff can accomplish in a regular day. Step 1, touch it once. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You come into your office, and there on your desk sits 3 folders and 2 letters that you must respond to. You look at the first letter and read a few sentences. Dealing with it is clearly going to take more time than you have right now. You put it aside. In one of your folders is another task. You handle that task and your phone rings. You answer the phone and get pulled in a new direction for 10 to 15 minutes. Then you go back to the folder. But just as you do, an email comes in. You stop to read the email, which contains a task that must be dealt with but requires much more time than you have right now. If you spend just 15 minutes per day to revisit, readdress, or reread documents or emails, you will waste 97 hours per year where no action is taken. Many on your staff will waste an hour per day, scattered throughout the day, revisiting things on which no meaningful action is taken. That equates to 6 weeks of wasted time per year. Want to add 6 more weeks of productivity to every year? This simple touch it once rule and the infrastructure to support this rule within your company can dramatically enhance the productivity of every person working for you. If you touch it, take action. That's the first step to great time management. Don't open that email or letter until you're ready to deal with it. As you put this rule into practice, you will find that the more files you have for work in progress and the more organized you can be in that process, the more productive you will be. So, for example, suppose I open my email from my PR firm that requires me to approve a press release. I have a PR folder. On my to do list, I write, approve press release, see PR folder. That's how organized you need to be today. The touch it once rule is crucial for managing email files. Email is a tremendous asset, but it can also kill your time management if you let it control you. The key to great email management is to institute a company policy that insists on very company, descriptive subject lines for all emails. Another rule I absolutely insist on at my company is that when the subject of the email changes, the subject line on the email also changes. This is critical. Say you send someone an email with the subject line, upcoming Chet Holmes training event, and she writes back something that looks like this: to Sherry from Marcia, subject, upcoming Chet Holmes training event. Yes, I'm going. I already reserved my spot. And by the way, did you talk to Dave about the budget item I mentioned to you? The email goes back and forth again about the problem with Dave, but it still has upcoming Chet Holmes training event in the subject line. A week or two later, someone asks you what happened with Dave. One of these 7 emails covers that important issue, but you have to open all 7 to find that data point. So change the subject line as you change the content of the email. Every client and employee of mine has to adhere to this rule in order to interact with me. This way, everyone in the company can glance at an incoming email and make the decision. Can I deal with this now if I open it now? If you do open something that can be dealt with right there, you file it as an appropriate folder. You file it in an appropriate folder and move the task to your to do list. More on to do list coming up next. This can't be overstated. This can't be overstated. Email can be the death of good time management. Companies that have new email alerts constantly sounding keep every person in a reactive mode all day long. If your computer signals when you have an email, do not go directly to read it and answer it at the moment it comes in. Email is there for your convenience. If it's not convenient, don't answer it. Concentration is like a muscle, and it strengthens as you concentrate more. If you stop concentrating every time an email comes in or the phone rings, you actually lessen your ability to concentrate and you become less effective in any situation that requires concentration. Note, as you go through these 6 things, don't think about whether you've heard them before. Think about whether you're applying the discipline to implement them. Step 2, make lists. Many people make lists as a way to keep organized. If you don't keep a list, you are more than likely a very reactive person. Lists help you stay focused on high priorities and highly productive matters. Keeping a list will double your productivity right away. When I conduct a seminar on the topic, I go around the room and I ask how many people keep lists. Then I ask, how many items do you usually keep on your list? There are always a few people in the room who have to-do lists of 25 items or more. The key to being productive is to stick to the 6 most important things you need to get done that day. You'll find that when you have a long list, it becomes the management tool for your time. When you want to feel productive, you go to your list and just pick something and do it. It feels good. When you have a long list, you generally do the easier, less productive tasks just to trim down the list. At the end of the day, you find that the most important things on the list didn't get completed because they are either the hardest, the most time consuming, or both. Long lists also mean that you will never finish your list. There is a negative psychological impact to not finishing your list, but there is an enormous psychological boost to crossing off that sixth item on the list, especially when all six of them were the most important things you needed to do that day. So here's the rule: list the six most important things you need to do, and by hook or by crook, get those six things completed each day. That doesn't mean you don't keep a side list of running items that need to be done. When you plan each day, coming up in a moment, you can go to your long list and use that as a menu of items from which to build your list of the six most important things for that day. Exercise. Do this exercise now, and we'll build on it as you read the rest of this chapter. Take a clean sheet of paper and write down the six most important things you need to get done tomorrow. Your list might look something like this, or something like mine. 1. Work on client proposal. 2. Fax contract. Schedule meetings. 4. Conference call with Heidi. 5. Review this month's marketing plan. 6. Work on direct mail letter. Step 3. Plan how much time you will allocate to each task. Do not think about when you will do each task. Just determine the amount of time you will realistically dedicate to each task. This is an important step to make sure that the six items on your list can actually be accomplished in a day. If one or more of the items on your list is too big to accomplish in one day, then write down how much time during that day you will dedicate to it. You will take care of bigger projects in manageable chunks of time. This book is a great example. I've been getting book offers for more than 10 years, but I looked at the book as a huge undertaking. Once I made the commitment, I put an hour a week on my calendar to address the book. Within 3 months, I had a solid book proposal that got me this book deal. What have you been putting off for years? Or what important initiatives are you just not getting to because they take too much time? Do them in small chunks of time. Exercise. Next to each item on your list, write how much time you will realistically spend on it tomorrow. Now, your list might look like this: 1. Work on client proposal, half an hour. 2. Revise and fax contract, 1.5 hours. 3. Schedule meetings, half an hour. 4. Conference call, 1 hour. 5. Work on marketing plan, 1 hour. 6. Work on direct mail letter, 2 hours. Add up the total amount of hours for your productive tasks. Here it comes to 6.5 hours. I've done this exercise in many seminars, and there are always a few people who add up their hours and get 11 hours worth of stuff. Not realistic at all when you now must work these six things to the rest of your day. A good guide to go by is that your six most important things should take about 6 hours. I'll explain why later. Step 4. Plan the day. Now that you have allocated amounts of time for each task, you need to plan your day. This is not a general guide to how your day might unfold. It must be specific and have a time slot for absolutely everything. This includes each of the six items on your list, as well as time to check email and open mail. Remember, if you are following the first rule and only touching these items once, then you need to have a dedicated period of time each day when you can deal with them. Note in this fully planned day below that there are 2 periods of time for miscellaneous and got a minute meetings. These miscellaneous periods are absolutely essential because we all know that your day might be interrupted. There are some things you will have to react to that will throw you off your schedule. If you have planned at least 2 half-hour slots of reactive time, then when you get off track, you've actually built in buffers so that you can get back to your schedule. But most important, stick to that schedule no matter what. Note in the plan below that this is actually a 10-hour day, but only 6.5 of the hours are for your six most important things. 8 to 8:30, send client proposal and check email. 8:30 to 9, review employees' time management lists. 9 to 10:30, review, revise, and fax contract. 10:30 to 11, miscellaneous meetings, scheduled got a minute meetings, check email. 11 to 12, review marketing plan. 12 to 1, lunch with client. 1:30 to 2, conference call. 2 to 3, got a minutes, miscellaneous, check email. 3 to 5, direct mail letter. 5 to 6, check and respond to email. Exercise. Write a plan for your day tomorrow that would give you enough time to cross off all 6 items on your to-do list and stay on top of your email and other tasks. Step 5, prioritize. Now that you've done this exercise, look at your day tomorrow and see where you put the most important difficult tasks. In seminars, I often see people put the most important task last because it typically takes the most concentration or is the most difficult. But by the end of the day, there is rarely time or energy to take on the chore. Put the most important task first. This simple step will give you a tremendous sense of control and accomplishment. We've heard it again and again. Only 20% of your efforts bring 80% of your results. Many people drown in busy work that produces few results. They're so busy that they've lost their ability to prioritize and concentrate. I call them busy people. I've had a lot of them working for me over the years, dedicated, devoted, even appearing like they are really busy. But when you look at their actual productivity, it's very low. For these people, this whole technique becomes critical, and you have to police it like a ninja master to get them to stop all the busy work and focus on productivity. What would happen if 80% of your effort was focused on high results producing activities? If you started spending 80% of your time on results oriented work and only 20% on everything else, you could conceivably get a fourfold increase in productivity. All it takes is pig headed discipline and determination. Tips for salespeople and one person armies. Every salesperson should have at least 2.5 hours a day of brand new prospecting. And that's for salespeople who have a full load of current clients. Salespeople who are not managing a large list of current clients need to do at least 4 hours per day of pure cold calling. I have a client who has software that tracks sales activity, but he never used the software. To our shock, when we actually used the software, we found that not one person on the staff was doing more than an hour's worth of cold calling in a single day. When surveyed, the reps thought they were making 40 to 60 cold calls per day. The reality, about 11 to 28 cold calls per day. For new salespeople, their entire day should be spent prospecting. If you are a one person army or a very small company, and you, as the entrepreneur, are the main person responsible for growing the company, then you personally must spend at least 2.5 hours per day growing your company. What to do if your job is designed to be reactive? Say you are a salesperson who has to take inbound calls from clients on a regular basis. Say you are a customer service representative whose entire job is to react to customer service calls. What if you're a receptionist who answers phones or an assistant who has to react to your boss's needs all day? Even people in reactive positions should still plan realistically for some proactive tasks that can get done each day. You should have some proactive tasks that you do each day that move things forward or improve the company or your job. Plan time to improve skills, performance, workflow, and organization for you and your department or company. People in more reactive positions will simply have far less time dedicated to proactive tasks, but still have some proactive tasks in every day. If you are a receptionist and your main job is to answer phones, can you also be productive making lists of prospects for the sales team? It makes me crazy when I go into a company and the receptionist is reading a book because the calls are slow. Can this person be doing some research on the internet about your industry or doing mailings? These questions also apply if you're in customer service. In your weekly meetings, full design in chapter 3, make it a point to address this issue and put reactive people to work in their downtime or slow time. People respect what you inspect. If you want to get your people productive, you should examine how they're prioritizing and planning their day every day. Before the advent of the internet, I would go around the office and check how people were planning their day. I did that for months until every person in the company was doing their plan every day. It took me 6 months of pig headed discipline and determination and constant inspection before my employees followed the 6 steps religiously. I am so intent on having great time management among my key executives and they from their staff that I even built an internet program where my employees log in and plan their day. The boss gets an automatic email alert each time an employee completes his or her day's plan. See the ultimate time management tool on www.chettime.com. With or without a program like this, instituting this kind of inspection on how employees are planning and prioritizing will increase their respect for time management and dramatically increase their productivity. Exercise. Look at your plan. How much of your day is proactive and how much is reactive? Where did you put the most important task for the day? At the beginning, in the middle, at the end. Rewrite your plan so that you complete the most important task on your list first thing in the morning. Group together all of your reactive work, including answering emails and returning phone calls. Make sure most of your day is focused on proactive work such as prospecting or closing deals. Step 6, ask yourself, will it hurt me to throw this away? Studies show that 80% of all filed or stored information is never referred to again. So why hold on to it? To determine whether or not to keep something, ask yourself, will it hurt me to throw this away? Could you get it again if you needed it? If you're a boss, the answer is usually yes. Throw it away. If I don't specifically keep an email, it's automatically thrown away by my system after 45 days. Maybe twice per year, there's one that I wish I could get again, and I usually can. One of my staff recently had trouble in that her email was working slowly. The technician looked at her email account and discovered that it had stored some ridiculous amount of old data because she kept every single email. After the technician had her clean out all the files, she didn't think she would ever need again. Her stored email went from 2.7 gigabytes to a half a gigabyte. Conclusion. As you can see, there are not 4,000 steps to time management, and there is no need to track your time for 3 months before introducing time management into your life and your business. There are 6 simple steps. Touch it once. Make daily lists of the 6 most important tasks to complete. Plan how long each task will take. Assign time slots for accomplishing each task. Focus on the difficult projects first. Ask yourself, will it hurt me to throw this away? Master these 6 steps and you won't believe the difference. Implement them company wide and you will be operating maximum productivity before you know it. Of course, even if you stick to these 6 steps, events and people will interfere and your schedule will be disrupted. Emergencies will come up that will take an hour or even 2 hours out of your day. As long as you schedule some flexible time into your day, some blank spaces in your schedule, you can accommodate those detours. The key is that when something interferes with your schedule, deal with it and then go back to your schedule. And that concludes chapter 1, the time management secrets of billionaires in the ultimate sales machine. And so, as I've told y'all before, for all those who've been following along and who've been listening, this is why we do this. Let me make this bigger. Let me make me bigger. This is why we do this. Not necessarily to put him to sleep, but we do this so that the next generation has that seed planted. Once that seed is planted, now that child can use use their experience around them to shape this information and all the other information that we're reading to our children, or they are reading to us, or we're reading together. But planting those seeds, and if we keep our children in an environment of righteousness, oh man, oh man. We talked about LeBron and we talked about all these different athletes who pick up the basketball, pick up the baseball, the football, the microphone at 4 or 5 years old, 3, 4 years old. We got so many of them and amazingly talented, extremely intelligent in their chosen discipline of sports or entertainment or whatever, right? But imagine if we give our children this at 2, 3, 4 years old. Imagine if we give them cybernetics at 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. Imagine if we give them Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill at 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. Imagine if we give them all of these materials at an early age, and they're able to spend their entire childhood taking that information and shaping it in a way that fits who they are. Oh, it's special. This is why we do it. I've been reading to all of my children since birth, and I plan on reading to my children until the day that I die, no matter how old they are. And all of my children read to me. Once they are able to read, they read to me. And they don't read me Dr. Seuss. They don't read me Goosebumps or Diaries of the Wimpy Kid or none of that. They don't read me that stuff. They sometimes they read that stuff for fun if they if they'd like to. But I don't allow them to read it to me. I have them read books like this to me. I have them read books like, oh, sorry, buddy. I have them read books like Psycho-Cybernetics, Thinking, the Ultimate Salesman Machine, Think and Grow Rich, 48 Laws of Power, the Enuma Elish, the Epic of Gilgamesh. No, my children, if you're going to read to me, you're going to read me something that I know is going to prepare you for life. Because I know I got 18 years before, when you walk out that door, you're doing things on your own, however you want at that point. Well, I got 18 years to shape and mold while you're here at this house. And the books that we're going to read is going to be books that's going to prepare you for the journey ahead. So this is what I give to my children. What you give to your children, hey, it's up to you. But I'm encouraging you. I'm encouraging every one of y'all out there to give your children the best. The best is these books. The best is you also being able to read your own book of life, your Akash. You being able to access your own deoxyribonucleic acid and read the information that is up there from all your past lives, your present life, and all your future lives. That's all happening simultaneously in real time. All of these books are important. And understand something. This is just 5% of the information. I really want y'all to understand that. The other 95% of the information is what's revealed off of your Akash. This is just the confirmation of what's coming off of the Akash. That's all this is. This is just anywhere from 1 to 5% of the process. 95 to 99% of the process is you and understanding who you are, reading off of the real book of life that is written in vivid detail on your deoxyribonucleic acid. You have nuclear ability. Always remember that. But yeah, so you already know I gotta take. Oh, you know what? Let me give a shout out. Let me give a shout out. Thank you, thank you, KK. I see you. Okay, I see you. Yeah, you done put a few. Yeah. Thank you, appreciate that. Absolutely. Yeah, tune in every week, every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. We're gonna be reading to the people. We're gonna be diving into these books. I want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife, Shonda, her chocolate self. Yeah, we all have these challenges. We all have struggles with time management. I'm no different. Like, if I could only show y'all all this is this is what I got over here on my desk. Like, we're all having a little bit of a challenge, with time management. I got so many different lists, and I'm doing what Chet Holmes was talking about. Like, hey, listen, man, you need to do the 6 things that he's talking about. The 6 different tasks, and give them time frames instead of having all these different lists. And it's like, all right, I want to do something productive, right? So what do? I go pick up a sticky note and do something on it, right? So many of us are struggling with these types of things, So listen to the material in the book, and I would say to apply the material in the book and do it in consistency, because what it's going to do is going to shape a new foundation for you, to help you to be more effective and more efficient in those areas that you desire change in, right? So I would say that what Chet Holmes has given us in chapter 1, very sound information. I want to give another shout out to my wife. Appreciate it. Very much so. Appreciate all the support from everybody who came in and did some commenting. Please share the video. Please like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube, hit the LinkedIn, hit the Instagram, please support, because this is something like the new reading rainbow that we have here. And our children need this. The next generation, they need this information. They need this information early so they can learn how to master it long before they step into life and they're expected to pay rent or mortgage, car note, all these different types of things. They're expected to be competent in a relationship. They're expected to be a valuable citizen in society. All of these things are more possible. They're done at optimal levels when we have the proper information and we have already applied that information to see how it works for us. This is how we develop wisdom in children from a very, very, very young age. These are the things that we need to do for our children. And it doesn't make a difference whether they are a melanated child or they are a demelanated child or they represent some other ethnic background. None of that matters. What matters the most is that we give this information to our children at young ages. And we've got to trust and understand that our children's subconscious mind is strong enough to be able to understand everything that's being read in this book. Every single word in this book. My son, who's 2 years old, he understands this information at the subconscious level. He just has not got an understanding at the conscious level. But if I'm consistently giving suggestions of this information to his subconscious, now what happens is as his conscious mind catches up, now his fight or flight and all these different parts of him that may be working on automatic mechanisms, they start to align with this information that's in these books. I'm giving away the secrets. I hope everybody's listening. All right, y'all be blessed. Hey, this is the MasterMind Library. Y'all expose your gift.